From the land of lakes, this is 10,000 Takes. Brought to you by Minnesota Score Radio. Wally and Eric back for yet another week as we slice and dice the always busy, always topical, super saturated Minnesota sports scene. And Wally, as always, plenty to chew on.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll throw you some purple licorice out of the gate. It's not going to taste too good, though, if you're a Vikings fan, based on what happened Monday night as they lose to the monsters of the Midway, the Chicago Bears, the woeful Bears. They had lost 13 straight games in the NFC North until they came into the House of Noise on Monday and won without a touchdown. First team in the NFL to win a game without scoring a TD this season.
And it came against the purple because the offense could do nothing against that vaunted Bears defense.
Yeah.
They look more like the 85
Was that Mike
Bears.
Singletary out there and Richard Dent?
Yeah, it was ugly. And the fridge. Let's not forget the fridge.
Yeah, we can't. Gary Fensick. Otis Wilson.
Wesley Frazier.
True.
Right? Former Vikings head coach. Yeah, it was, it was ugly. The offense was terrible. And riddle me this, Batman. Why in the world is Kevin O'Connell trying to turn Josh Dobbs into Kirk Cousins? He had him standing in the pocket. How about a bootleg once in a while? The only time he ran was when he got in trouble, which was plenty, by the way. The offensive line did not do a very good job. But, when Cousins is in there, he has such a quick release, and he has quick recognition of the offense and who should be open and who is open. That's a veteran quarterback for you. Josh Dobbs is a bit of a veteran, but he doesn't have the snaps, and he doesn't have the recognition, and he doesn't have the touch that Kirk Cousins does. Kevin O'Connell, please pay attention to this. That's your problem right now. Look, your guy Josh Dobbs basically won with playing recess football for a couple of weeks, right? I'm just going to scramble around and find things. Well, the Bears figured it out. They contained him. They kept him in a box, and the Vikings said, okay, we're going to stay in this box and make you a pocket passer. Well, he's not a drop-back pocket
And they got
guy.
that script from Denver the week before. I thought the Broncos did a good job. And, his fleet feet were a big reason why Minnesota beat Atlanta, knocked off New Orleans, was very competitive with Denver. You can slide the pocket out. Now, he was getting pressured. That pocket was getting caved in. The Bears did a good job with pass rush. That's what I'm saying. You can slide the pocket. You can create scenarios. I thought the way the Bears used Justin Fields was interesting. He had one designed run right up the gut, right off the center. He moved out on that game-winning drive that set up Cairo Santos's field goal. He had a few just tuck and go. Get to the stick. Get out of bounds. Don't get hit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens a week from Sunday in Las Vegas. Vikings and the Raiders, both teams in the same boat. Mediocre records, needing to win to stay in the playoff scrum. I still think you stick with Josh Dobbs.
I agree.
Having Justin Jefferson back, and I'm almost sure he's going to play in Vegas, I'll make that bet.
Okay.
And that will help, but will it be enough? Who knows?
And the other piece to this is, if Justin Jefferson is in the lineup, does Kevin O'Connell say, well, we'll just stick with this. We'll just keep Josh Dobbs in the pocket, and we'll just have him be a pocket passer again because we have Justin Jefferson running out there now. I still don't think that's the answer. I think you got to move him around.
Well, he's got to be what he is.
Right. Run some bootlegs.
Scrambler.
What's his number one asset? His feet.
Elusiveness, yeah.
Of course. His strength on his feet,
Well,
too.
if you remember, Justin Fields on that final drive, the big play was the throw to DJ Moore.
Right.
And he moved around. And if the quarterback's moving around and the wideouts and the tight ends know that, they keep moving too to find that open spot, which DJ Moore did, and Fields found him. I think that's what the Vikings have to think about doing with Joshua Dobbs. And, they're in a spot now where they can't lose too many more games.
No. The fact that they started out, 1-4, had to play their way back into it, was 6-4 at one point with the 5-game winning streak. Now have lost 2 in a row, 6-6 through the bye week, going into, as you said, Las Vegas to play the Raiders. And they have to win now because now you've got the Raiders. You still have the Lions twice. You've got the Packers.
You got to go to Cincinnati.
And you go to Cincinnati, too.
There won't be Joe Burrow. You may see Jake Browning, who used to be with the Vikings. He played against Pittsburgh the other day. But it's still Cincinnati. It's still a road game. And the Bengals are now in desperation mode. So, the thing about the Minnesota Vikings in the Kevin O'Connell era, and now we're well over a year and a half into it.
Right.
They play these razor-thin games almost every time. I mean, it's close whether they win or lose. It's remarkable how the Vikings take it down to the wire.
Yeah, every single game.
It is. And they've been fortunate in a lot of them, but they weren't against Chicago. And that might be a loss they look back on and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah. I think shoulda a couple of times. Shoulda punted the football.
Yeah.
Why are we against punting all of a sudden? I mean, they had the ball near midfield. At one time, it was in their own territory. They went for it on 4th and 3. And the other time was 4th and 7, just over the 50. I'm thinking, punt the football. Yeah. What is going on here? And then you give the Bears half a field, right? So you give up half a field, and they get 20, 30 yards, and the Bears go on and kick long field goals.
It was almost as if both those teams did not want to win.
No, they're trying to lose.
The Bears are inept.
Speaking of Vegas.
Yeah. And Justin Fields, and I thought he played pretty well, but he had 2 just crucial fumbles. They were lucky enough for the Bears. They got the ball back, and he was able to, acquit those fumbles with that game-winning drive to set up the field goal. But, wow. NFC North.
Same old, isn't it? I hear we're going to talk. We're going over the moon right now.
Yeah, we're going to talk to a guy named Moon, and he will tell us about the Pastronaut. So get ready for a rocket ride here on 10K Takes, your Monsters of the Midway ticket.
In Lakeville, Minnesota, dozens of meeting venues are ready to host your next corporate event, banquet, and holiday party. Lakeville has unique conference facilities, a variety of hotels, an abundance of team-building options, and dining that are sure to impress. For suggestions that suit your needs, please call the Lakeville Convention and Visitors Bureau at 952-469-2020 or go to visitlakeville.org. Lakeville, we mean business.
The excitement is real at Fond du Lac Casino. With over 650 slots to play, there's always something going on right in the heart of downtown Duluth. Come in to enjoy 2 floors of entertainment where you'll find some of the hottest new games along with a number of the old favorites. Play at your comfort level all the way up to high stakes where the payouts can be huge. Relax in a comfortable atmosphere and maybe get a beverage while you gather and have fun with your friends. Open 7 days a week so you can
have a great time out at Fond du Lac.
I've been meaning to give you these for many years. I think they're perfect.
Maya?
Oh, I love your earrings. Why didn't you try these?
It isn't just about vision. It's about care. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
And 10,000 takes rolls along, and we're going to continue to talk some purple. Joined now by Hall of Famer Warren Moon, former Minnesota Vikings quarterback. Warren, Monday Night Football was not kind to the purple this past Monday night. That offense was stuck in low gear. 1 touchdown. They did kick a field goal, but, man, you got to beat a team that doesn't score any touchdowns against you, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And I think it was just a matter of time before it was going to catch up with, with their offense, having a new quarterback. And there was a lot of excitement those first few weeks, but, they ran into some unfortunate turnovers the other night. I mean, some of those turnovers were like just tip balls up in the air, and what can you do about them? One of them went right off his receiver's hands and popped up in the air. So, yeah, a turnover is a turnover. I'm not going to make any excuses for it. And when you turn the football over, it's a momentum shifter. It's a field position shifter for the other team. And it's usually hard to overcome 4 turnovers in a game, even though you force 2 yourself on the Bears. So I think that was the difference in the ball game, the turnovers.
And Warren, you know better than anybody, having played the quarterback position in the CFL and the NFL, that 1 week the fans and the media love you, and then you have a clunker performance and they want the backup in. The Vikings have a bye, then they go to Las Vegas. I believe you got to be patient with Joshua Dobbs. Maybe time's caught up with him a bit. But Justin Jefferson should be back. That should help his cause, shouldn't it?
That's going to be a big help for him because, for one, Justin's just a great player in general, but he also gives you a little bit more size at the receiver spot because the guys that they have in there right now are pretty small, and you have to be much more precise with the football. Justin has a bigger catch radius, so he can make some catches that the quarterback doesn't have to be as accurate with. It's more of a security blanket as well. So I think it's going to really help his confidence when Justin does come back, and I'm sure they've had a chance to practice some in practice to start to get used to one another because Justin's been out there on a limited basis. But, over the course of this bye and that, they'll get a chance to work a little bit more, and hopefully the next time he's out there, have a better performance. So, I think that's what you have to look forward to. You got your best player on your team coming back, and you're giving your quarterback, who's a new guy to your system, a couple of more weeks to get more used to the system.
One thing that I've been hammering on and noticed on Monday night, they didn't roll him out. They didn't bootleg him. They basically turned him into a pocket passer. And when he did scramble, it was because he was in trouble, because the pressure from the Bears' defensive line was getting to him. Do they need to do more of that and make use of his feet? Because he certainly showed in those first couple of games that he can make things happen when he does use his feet and isn't just running for his life.
Yeah, they did use some play action the other night, but like you said, it was play action where he was still going to set up in the pocket. I would have loved to have seen him do some more, bootlegs and maybe some planned rollouts because he is very dangerous with his legs. And I think he feels more comfortable when he's on the move throwing the football or putting pressure on the defense. And that does put a lot of pressure on the defense when a quarterback is outside of the pocket. You have to cover your guys a little bit longer, and he's very elusive when he runs the football. So a little bit more of that mixed into the offense probably would have been good, and I think that's something they'll look at and say maybe we need to do more of that down the road.
And Warren, I know you put all of these quarterbacks in the NFL in a fishbowl. You study all of them. Jordan Love in Green Bay, and the Packers are now just a half game behind Minnesota. He's had 2 straight quality starts, career highs in a lot of numbers. Do you feel like he's figuring it out and that Green Bay does have their guy?
I think they're all figuring it out together. You got to remember, Watson and some of the other receivers he have are all young guys. They're all first, second year guys. So they're all figuring it out together. And when you have that chemistry with those receivers and you start to feel that chemistry, it makes the game a lot easier for the quarterback. So I think he's starting to have a better relationship with those young receivers. They're starting to understand where they need to be on certain routes. He's anticipating a little bit better because he knows where they're going to be as well, not holding the football as long. And, even though people say he's been in the system for 4 years, it doesn't matter because you haven't played. And until you play, and if you don't have any veteran guys out there to play with who have played the game before to help make it easier for you, it's going to be a little bit longer process to get you back up to speed. So I think that's what's happening right now with Jordan Love. All these young guys are coming together. They're a very young football team in general, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But I think they're starting to turn that corner, and you're going to see much more improved play going down the stretch because they're getting so much more used to each other.
I guess I didn't look this stat up, and I'm not sure how many of those you had, but Joshua Dobbs had a 4-interception game. You made the remark, and correctly so, that 3 of those 4 were actually tipped balls. What advice would you have to him after he has a game like that? Or if you had a game like that where there were multiple interceptions and turnovers, as a quarterback, what types of things would you say to Josh Dobbs that he needs to keep in mind?
Really study those turnovers and see if those are turnovers where maybe he was trying to force the ball in there. Maybe there was somebody else he could have went to and threw one of those balls away. Maybe somebody should have came up with the catch. I haven't seen the tape, and I'm sure he hadn't seen it at the time. But I'm sure that's the biggest way players kind of make adjustments in their game. you feel bad because you lost the game. You know you had something to do with those turnovers, but until you actually watch it on tape and see exactly what happened, you really don't know. So by now he knows exactly what he needs to do to make sure those things don't happen again, and he'll come back the next week, hopefully, in 2 weeks, and play much better, because he hasn't been a guy that's turned over the ball a lot, and this was kind of uncharacteristic for him to have 4 turnovers in a game like that.
The Philadelphia Eagles have gone down to the wire the last couple of weeks, but they've won both of those games. They're a one-loss team right now, best record in the National Football League. Are they the best team in the NFL, and do you see them as the odds-on favorite to go to and or win the Super Bowl?
You have to say they're the best team because they have the best record. I mean, that's what you go by. You go by who's winning and who's losing. Maybe they don't have the best team on paper. Maybe they're not playing the best as far as hitting on all cylinders, but they're doing what it takes to win the games down the stretch, especially with the way Jalen Hurts is playing in the fourth quarter. He hasn't always played his best in the first half, but he seems to turn it on when it's time. So that's the makings of a really good football team. And I think I've heard him say a few times, we haven't played our best, but we're still winning. It's a scary thing if they haven't played their best, and at some point maybe they're going to play their best when you need to play your best going down the stretch and into the playoffs. But right now, yeah, you'd have to say they're the best team in the league because they're 2 games up on everybody at 10-1.
Were you surprised Carolina this early in the season let go of Frank Reich in year number 1? And I know you two have a history, the Oilers and Bills, and we won't get into that. But
don't need to.
Did they pull the pin too quickly, Carolina?
I mean, some of these owners, what is his last name? Tapper? Is that his name?
David Tepper, I think. Yeah.
He likes tampering with things. So he's tampering with his team again. Well, this is the second coach he's fired already since he's been there, and maybe the third. I'm not sure. He fired the first coach when he came in, and I don't know. He's a very impatient man. He wants things to happen right away. And in football, sometimes it takes a while, especially when you have a new quarterback, a young quarterback, and you have a lot of new pieces coming into your football team without a lot of talent. So it's unfortunate for Frank, because Frank's a very good football coach. He's had success in this league, but it's the owner's prerogative to do what he wants to do. It's his money. It's his team. And if he wants to make this change, hopefully he has a better solution for what he's making the change for.
Yeah. Warren, appreciate the time as always, and we will look forward to talking to you again as we get closer to the postseason.
All right, guys, great talking to you. And if I don't talk to you in the next few weeks, Merry Christmas and have a great holidays.
Yeah, same to you. And go Huskies.
Go Dogs is right.
All right. Thanks, Warren. He is Warren Moon, Hall of Famer, of course, former Minnesota Vikings quarterback, right here on 10,000 Takes. More after this. Stay with us.
I've been meaning to give you these for many years. I think they're perfect.
Maya?
Oh, I love your earring. Why didn't you try these?
It isn't just about vision, it's about care. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
Finding the ideal place to stay is important for business travelers. Lakeville, Minnesota is conveniently located off I-35, just south of the Twin Cities, with a variety of hotel choices. Lakeville offers convenient amenities such as shopping, walking trails, golf, and more. Our unique meeting spaces, historic downtown, live music, and over 60 dining options are sure to impress. Book your next stay in Lakeville and experience convenience, comfort, and quality. Find your perfect hotel at visitlakeville.org.
10,000 Takes, and boy, your Gophers are going bowling. Are you excited?
Can't wait. I mean, you have, it appears the 3 options are Detroit, Quick Lanes Bowl, Las Vegas Bowl, or maybe down to Albuquerque, the New Mexico Bowl.
I'd say Detroit's the most likely. Boy, that's going to be a huge draw. They'll probably play Northern Illinois in Detroit.
That'll get about 20K into downtown Motown.
Do you think that many?
If college football has a brain, I'm not sure it does.
No.
But they would put the Gophers in Albuquerque against Jerry Kill and New Mexico State. Boy, what a story they've been this season, because you'd have the animosity and the acrimony between Jerry and PJ. That might garner some ratings. It might get some people to travel. Not many, but it might.
Yeah, well, might get some people to tune in on television.
That part I think for sure.
On whatever ESPN.
And then they can do the
Ocho.
prop bet. What's the over-under on the post-game handshake? I would put it at 1 second. Would you go over or under?
I'd say there won't be one.
Okay, so you go under. All right.
Okay, fair enough.
Rather chilly, kind of like Jim Harbaugh and Ryan Day, although they didn't have the opportunity to shake hands because Harbaugh wasn't there
No.
this year.
And he won't be back next year either.
Oh, where you got him going?
Chicago Bears,
Oh,
exactly. Yep. Okay. Look, a 5-7 team in the postseason is ridiculous to start off.
And not only that, but you talk about limping into a bowl game, 4 straight losses, dagger defeat to Illinois, hounded by Purdue, obliterated by Ohio State, and then handled by Wisconsin. That's the way I viewed the last 4.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was a terrible finish. Ethan Kaliakmanis is gone.
Transfer portal
For the Gopher quarterback. So does he even play in the bowl game then?
I would think no.
No.
Well, there's nothing to be gained there.
No.
And I know the Gophers are chasing this quarterback from New Hampshire who's in the transfer portal, and that's where we're at now. And so interesting. And I've had people tell me that AK can be a gunslinger, but PJ kept the shackles.
Imagine that.
So I still wasn't overly impressed with him, but maybe in a different system he could thrive.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll let Cole Kramer play quarterback in the bowl game.
That's right.
The kid from Eden Prairie. Why not? Give him a shot. Sounds like he's not going to come back. He kind of walked through senior day stuff, so he's probably not.
Is this a must-win bowl game?
This is a must-win bowl game.
If you lose, you're 5-8. You can't put that on the media guide next season. Hey, we were 5-8 and went to a bowl game.
No. All right. Your Minnesota Wild have not been winning much lately. They had the big skid that landed your guy Dean Evison in the unemployment line. I think the handwriting was on the wall when Dean said after Sunday's loss to Detroit, something's got to change. Well, what the heck do you think is going to change? It always happens, especially in the NHL, man. They change coaches like you change your drawers.
Wow. Well,
once a month.
He might be relieved. There's a shot. He might just be better off not coaching the Minnesota Wild because he's the fall guy. And goaltending has been shoddy at best, whether it's Marc-Andre Fleury or Philip Gustafson. On the blue line, the defense hasn't been very good. They haven't helped out the goalies. Kirill Kaprizov's been on a milk carton for part of this season. Where's Matt Boldy? Paging Matt Boldy.
1 goal?
Yeah. I saw. So this is a collective team collapse. I don't know if it gets any better.
Right.
The problem is, this might be the year the Wild get in the lottery, but I don't think Connor Bedard's out there next year.
No, I believe he's already taken.
He'll be here Sunday, Chicago.
Boy. And John Hines, he'll fit right in. First round exits in the playoffs for all of his teams in Nashville.
Oh, yeah. Hey, the Minnesota way.
Yeah, I thought I'd mention it. All right, takes of the day coming up next. Stay with us.
The excitement is real at Fond du Lac Casino. With over 650 slots to play, there's always something going on right in the heart of downtown Duluth. Come in to enjoy 2 floors of entertainment where you'll find some of the hottest new games along with a number of the old favorites. Play at your comfort level all the way up to high stakes where the payouts can be huge. Relax in a comfortable atmosphere and maybe get a beverage while you gather and have fun with your friends. Open 7 days a week so you can
have a great time out at Fond du Lac.
I've been meaning to give you these for many years. I think they're perfect.
Maya?
Oh, I love your earring. Why didn't you try these?
It isn't just about vision. It's about care. Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
10K takes on television as we wrap up yet another episode. We'll have takes of the day shortly. But before we hear you rant and rave about something, let's talk about the Minnesota Twins, who are going to pare down the payroll. Goodbye, Sonny Gray. He's in St. Louis. Goodbye, Kenta Maeda. He's in Detroit. And wow, it was only 2-3 months ago when they built up all this goodwill by going on a mini run in the playoffs, round 2. Boy, trendy Target Field was buzzing. We were at the games. It was a lot of fun. But I think they're kind of all that goodwill they built up, I feel like it's going away quickly.
Yeah, well, maybe this will become the no fun league because your Twins have decided that they can't afford to keep guys like Sonny Gray around. And look, I don't know if Sonny Gray was real thrilled about coming back to Minnesota anyway. I mean, with all the analytics and Rocco yanking him early and all that nonsense that went on. And you remember, Sonny actually spoke up about it early in the season. And they eventually, loosened the reins up a little bit. But in my eyes, I think that they have decided that, there's only X amount of dollars that they're going to spend. The TV contract is still waiting to be decided. They got $55 million, or supposed to get $55 million last year from Bally's, and I don't know whether that ever happened. So, yeah, bottom line baseball, baby. And don't expect them to go out and make some big deal in the offseason as far as free agent. They might make a trade or two. They've got some potential trade chips, but I don't see them doing anything as far as...
So they're not shaving the payroll to pay a guy like Shohei to come here.
No,
That's what you're saying.
No,
Okay.
Shohei is not on it.
Shohei not coming to Minneapolis. Newsflash.
Okay.
All right, let's find out what your mood is.
Okay.
Angry American, Grumpy Guardian, Giddy Guardian. What is it today?
Well, it was about a week or so ago. Philadelphia 76ers came to town with reigning MVP Joel Embiid. I was all fired up. I'm going to see the Timberwolves play the 76ers and get to see the MVP. Nope. Once again, load management. And by the way, so he didn't play. Joel Embiid, they held him out. I don't even know if he traveled. Did not play against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yet the night before, he played against Cleveland at home in Philadelphia. Didn't go out of the game because he was injured. No injury report of any kind. They load management him, and he did not make the trip to Minnesota. What happened, Adam Silver? Why aren't your teams adhering to the new rules that say you have to play them? Apparently, they don't care about your rules. They don't care about the fans. They just care about load management. In other words, they're playing when they want to play. Didn't Randy Moss say that back
Yeah,
in
he
the
did.
day? Okay.
Yeah, it's a load of fertilizer is what it is. Let's see what. Oh, look at this Grumpy Guardian.
That's terrible.
He's peeking the needle again.
People pay big money to go to those NBA games and to see the MVP, and they're only in town once. One time, Philadelphia 76ers coming to town, and yet he doesn't play.
And remember, Jimmy Butler didn't play when Miami showed up. Zion didn't play when New Orleans came to town, so on and on it goes.
It's a bunch of crap.
All right. Well, I've got some good news.
Okay.
I think a lot of us are still disgusted about what's happening with the Oakland A's going to Las Vegas and John Fisher, the owner, who is a snake. And I guess snakes do belong in the desert, so that's what Vegas is,
Fair
a big
enough.
desert. But so what's Oakland going to do? They don't have the Warriors anymore. They're in San Francisco. The Raiders are in Vegas, and the A's will soon be down there as well. Well, how about getting a Frontier League team that's independent baseball? Well, they're going to do that.
Uh-oh.
And the name of this team, the Oakland Ballers, or better yet, the Oakland Bees.
I
And
like
check
it.
the logo out. Green and gold, little white mixed in there. What a jab they're taking at the A's. And these new owners are saying the Bees will never move. They are rooted in Oakland. So good job getting the Oakland Bees, and they'll probably outdraw the Oakland A's.
That won't take much.
And they'll have a higher payroll. And on that note, let's FedEx out our thank yous. Paul Langfellow, David Weld, Rocky, Warren Moon, for Wally, I'm Eric Singh. So long. This is 10K Takes Your Sports Ticket.